I want to make you a Twitch millionaire. Welcome to Shork Talk. Shork Talk. All right, y'all. Let's talk. This video is not for everyone. I feel like anytime that I make a money video on this channel, that there are a lot of small streamers who question whether or not they should actually be worrying about this stuff because you feel like, man, I can't even get viewers. Why am I thinking of making money right now? However, the strategy I'm going to share with you in this video isn't about securing the bag for you. The purpose of this strategy is to get you closer to your community. So it isn't going to make you a millionaire, unfortunately, but it is going to do something similar that my ebook did for me, which is that it helped me grow my community. Believe it or not, yes. My ebook was so good that people started sharing it with their friends and their own audiences, and it was able to grow to make $30,000 in a single year without me being a very large streamer. This ebook brought so much credibility to my brand. It made people take me more seriously. It made my audience grow. Yeah, it made me a little bit of money, but the point was that it helped to grow my authority. This process is actually exactly why I was able to make $10,000 a month as a small streamer. Instead of waiting on companies to pay me or waiting for massive scale from hundreds or thousands of viewers, I was making more money in my life than I ever had made because I was creating something that was super helpful for people. And now I hear you right now, you're like, but Ashni, you're an educator. I promise you that you do not have to be educational in order to build something like this. And don't forget, our goal isn't to be an educator and build this massive 6 or 7 figure educational brand. It's to run an experiment in order to get closer to our audience. Because here's the thing, a lot of small streamers, y'all want to work with sponsors, but whenever it comes to working with sponsors, you can actually detract from your brand in a major way whenever you accept early deals. And so the best advice that I can give you when it comes to working with companies is that you need to wait until you start getting approached by really great people, or whenever you start carrying the numbers in order to be able to help those people out with a partnership from them. That means that there's going to be a huge chunk of time where you're not making money from sponsorships. So how are you going to make money? You could rely on your community, sure, and that's totally fine. But wouldn't you rather run some experiments now, learn what it takes to sell something small to your community so that at the point whenever you do start working with sponsors, you'll be a good partner for them? And for those of you who want to freaking make some money, you don't have time to wait for a big sponsorship to come through to be able to pay you, right? Like, you shouldn't have to work your 9-to-5 job when you have a ton of viewers and a community that wants to support you and you have value to give the world if that's not what you want to do. Nothing wrong with the 9-to-5, but if you don't want to do it and you want to be a content creator, you can do it a lot earlier than you think. The biggest thing that I have learned, y'all, by creating my ebook and creating all of these courses is that having an idea is great. And you can ask people if they would pay for your ideas or support your ideas all day long. But until you give them the ability to actually do it, you won't be able to accurately gauge whether or not what they're saying is true. The only way to know if what you're doing is valuable enough that people will pay for it is by actually asking them to pay for it. I talk about that a little bit more in the companion podcast episode that I made for this YouTube video, so check that out, link below. So we're gonna make a little baby companion product, and I can hear you freebie lovers now. Why isn't it free, Ashni? Well, I have a video where I've talked about how to create free products for your community. However, this video is not that video. This video is about making a baby intro paid product as an experiment to become a better partner for sponsors and to grow your community and to grow closer to the community that you already have. Making a ton of money would be awesome with this experiment, but your goal isn't necessarily to make a ton of money. It's to learn what it takes to serve your community even better than you already are. So how do you make the thing? Well, let's jump over to my computer. So the first thing that you need to do is create the idea for your product, which I always do over in Evernote. As you can see, it can't even keep up with how much stuff I've got going on here. Your girl's got big brain energy, okay? It's really important with your first product that you think about it in terms of its usefulness to people that are inside and outside of your community, because remember, we want to use this in order to grow our our viewers on Twitch. So what we really need to do is make sure that it has some kind of purpose for people, that it helps them improve their lives in some way. And the way that you can think about this is by thinking about value. So I made a masterclass video about how to create more value with your Twitch streams, and that same information applies here. So whenever it comes to your product, remember, it should be educational, entertaining, or it should be really empowering and inspiring for people. A really good way to make sure that it is one of these things is by thinking of what your audience knows you for. What do people comment on and say that you're really good at this one specific thing? It might be a specific game, it might be that you're a musician, you might be an artist, you might be a really great friend. Anything that you do that people say that you are good at is something that's valuable enough to turn into a baby paid product. Recently, I decided that I wanted to help streamers a little bit more with YouTube and that I wanted to create a paid product for that. So what I did was I used a Google form to get closer to the people who had that problem, who were really struggling with YouTube, and I learned what they were struggling with. And so whenever I plan out my product, it looks kind of like this. This is all of the information from that Google form compiled into one note about what students are looking for and what students want. So students would be those people who are struggling with YouTube. Now for an intro product, I'm not trying to solve every single problem that people are having with building their YouTube channel. What I really want to do for a baby product is I want to focus on a really specific solution for them with maybe a couple of sub-solutions that are related to that main solution that I want to give them. So what students want was they wanted to make money, right? And I have recently quadrupled the ad revenue that I'm making from my YouTube channel. So that's a really good product that I could create to help people learn how to make more money on their YouTube channel. It's really important that your product is really concise and really easy for you to create for your intro products, because you don't want to get all complicated like this. If I was creating like a $500 program, which technically I did, but if I was creating a $500 program that included every single solution, that would make sense. But I'm not going to put every solution for all of these things into an introductory product. So make sure that your intro product has a small amount of solutions and you're not overcomplicating it, because your brain is going to tell you that you have to overcomplicate it, but you do not. This needs to be as simple as possible. Now, because I know you'll struggle with figuring out a product idea for your specific situation, I've written down some different types of streamers that I know watch these videos and the questions that your product should create solutions for. So for example, let's say you're a community streamer and people say that you're really great at being a good friend. Well, why are relationships important to you? How do you make more friends? How can someone be more social? How can you have higher value qualities that people are looking for in a friend? What's your story? Maybe you grew up and you were totally friendless and now having friends is really important to you. You can create a product that answers all of these questions, that combines your story with the things that you learned about how to grow a friendship and be a better friend, and that is perfect for an intro product like this. So moving on, now we need to create our mother heckin' baby product. So what I'm gonna recommend you do is create a short ebook. Short. I'm talking like 4 or 5 pages, y'all. This is an example of one that I have created recently, which is actually 19 pages. Now you don't have to get this in depth. I want you to keep this as simple as possible. And the thing is, I know a lot of you are probably like, Ashni, 19 pages? This probably took forever for you to create, right? What if I told you I made this in 24 hours? Here's the thing, y'all are content creators. You have so much content to sift through already. And what you can do is you can organize that content in a different way in order to create a paid product, because organization of the content that you create is something that people will pay for because you save them time. So what I did for this ebook is that I actually used a service called rev.com, which will transcribe audio that you send over within like 12 hours, y'all. I think I got this back in 4 hours. I was like, what? This is nuts. And it's amazing. So I was able to speak into my phone, send it over to the team at Rev, and they completely wrote it out. All I had to do was format it and I had an ebook. Now that was only for the last half of the book. The first like third of this book is actually a transcribe of a YouTube video with a little bit of added information. So what I did was I took the YouTube video and I made it more valuable by doing a follow-up of 4 months later with how I did 4x my ad revenue. As you can see, I also made a cover for this ebook. Let me show you why. It's really important that your little intro product looks professional, because if it doesn't, people are going to assume that you're just throwing crap out into the wind hoping to like scam them and make some money. So the way that we make it look professional is that we use something called Place It, which is a mock-up generator. So I take the ebook cover that I created and I choose one of these things. Then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to upload the cover of that ebook into this Place It mockup generator, and it's going to put the cover of my ebook onto this book, so it looks a lot more professional, right? If I go into my past downloads, you can actually see how I've done this with a lot of different things like Stream Coach Academy and with the Big YouTube Breakdown, which is this book. So this is an image that I actually tend to use quite a lot because I think this one looks really good, but this is what Place It will do. Then after we have this, we are actually ready to upload it to where we're gonna sell it. So my plan for the Big YouTube Breakdown was actually to sell it as a $37 case study on Gumroad, which is where I've actually been selling my ebook. I ended up just letting people have this case study for free if they signed up to the Big YouTube Breakdown, which is my YouTube course, but this is where you are going to sell your first baby product, and it's super easy. You just sign up for a Gumroad account, you're gonna click on products up here at the top, you're gonna go to new product, you choose classic so you can start selling today. We're not gonna talk about pre-orders or memberships in this video, but that's like a whole other marketing thing that we could get into. We're gonna name our product, so let's say this is BYB case study. We're gonna set the amount. So I would have done $37 for this. However, I want you to price yours. Oh, pricing. Okay. I forgot we were gonna have to talk about pricing. Okay, pricing is a whole thing. The advice that I got from one of my business mentors was to take the number that makes you nervous and double it and then double it again. So let's say it made me nervous to charge $20 for a book. Their advice was double it, okay, so $40, and then double it again, $80 for a book. I don't personally think that that is a good way to figure out what you should be charging for your products. So instead, what I want you to do is I want you to think about the value that this product is going to create in someone's life, okay? So first off, we're going by the value, not necessarily by how much time you put into this, because we are going to learn how to break out of a time-based monetization thing. That made no fucking sense. I just need to make a YouTube video about that so I can just tell y'all to go watch it. So what I want you to do instead is I want you to look at your competitors. Now for a lot of you, you're gonna have literally zero competition because no one is currently monetizing like this except for a handful of you who saw my ebook do really well and you've decided to create your own. So you have a massive advantage here in that you get to decide what your market looks like. And what I will say is you probably want to follow in the footsteps of my ebook. So that's going to be the most similar thing that has ever been released to what you are doing here. That was $27. However, if I were to make an ebook today, let me tell you, I would make it less than that. I would probably make it $10 or $12 because we have to go back to the point of this product. It is not to make us a ton of money. It's to teach us what it takes to make money, and it's to get us closer to our community and to grow our viewership. So we want to lower the barrier to entry as much as humanly possible. So something around $10 is really great for an intro product because most people are going to be able to afford that, and it's going to let you have some room to breathe whenever it comes to increasing the price or lowering the price, which you can do in the future based on how your audience and the market reacts to the price of this product. Pricing could be a whole ass video itself, so let's just do $10 for the amount for now. and we will make a video about pricing. So then you go into this page, which is going to be the actual sales page that people will see when they buy it. This is an example of it that Gumroad gives to make this really easy for you, but we're going to go through and fill out all of this information. So we want to describe our products pretty accurately. We want to tell people here what solution they can expect to get from this product and what it's actually going to do for them and why it was important to us to create it, because people are going to get behind why you create things, not necessarily what you created, but they're excited more about the reason that they exist. Then we take that cover that we made on Place It, and we're going to upload it here, and that's going to change this. Then your call to action, so you can do like, I want this, buy this, pay. I want this because I think it is less sales-based language, which is really important for whenever you're selling products to people in the Twitch community. They don't do well with heavy sales language. Then the summary is, you get a case study of my experience forexing my ad revenue on YouTube. So you just kind of tell them exactly what they're going to get. That's going to show up there. We don't need to add any details right now. This is where we're going to upload the actual product itself. And then again, it's the pricing. We are not going to allow customers to pay what they want for this because we want to decrease the amount of variables that are going to impact our ability to learn from this experiment. So we're going to set it at $10, and then we are going to adjust based on market feedback, okay? And then after you upload all this information, you go to save changes and you publish it. I'm not going to publish this because this already exists somewhere, but this is the link that you get after you have actually published it. And that's the link that you're going to give to everyone whenever you mention the products that you've created. Now you are going to mention your product everywhere that you create content, like I've been doing with my ebook, Build Your Dream Stream. That's how I was able to make $42,000. Blaze it! I didn't even notice it was that amount, son! For you to sell this thing, you're gonna mention it in every YouTube video on your stream. There's gonna be a chat timer and a link and a photo down below in your profile on Twitch. You are going to put it on social media. You're gonna retweet everyone who purchases it and talks about it, and you are going to consistently talk about it, because the more you talk about it, the more sales you will actually end up getting, and the more you're gonna learn about how to sell to people and how to create a better product. So pay specific attention to the times where you're getting a lot of sales and look at what you're doing, because what you're doing during that time period is working. Do more of that and less of the stuff that isn't. And that's how you're gonna sell a ton of these and get to the Blaze It price yourself. You might also feel like this thing that you just made is a crappy piece of crap. Like, who is gonna pay for this, right? I promise you, you will be surprised. Just like I was, I thought I was gonna make $40 from my ebook, and I made over $4,000. And that's only before the thing launched. That's not even including what's happened afterwards. As I said, this is a very baby intro product. This is just to help you figure out what it takes to create a product, launch it to your community, and how they are going to respond to something like that. And so what you need to do is evolve this thing over time in order to learn more about selling to your community, so that you can be a good partner for sponsors someday, or you can eventually create larger paid products if you want. The way that you are going to do this is you have to pay very close attention to what people are saying and doing after they pay for this little intro product. So what you're going to want to do is include a feedback form. You can use Google Forms for this. It is super easy, and that's going to be an anonymous feedback form where people can tell you what they thought about the experience, how you can improve it, and you can get feedback from them there to improve the thing over time. Now, it's also really important that you go directly to the people who buy this from you and you tell them that you really appreciate it, and you ask for their feedback in a direct conversation. This is going to make them feel like their opinion really matters, and this is going to help you get closer to your people as well. You will know that you have struck freaking gold whenever these people who buy this product start recommending it to everyone else. That's whenever it's going to start growing your community. That's whenever you're going to start making a little bit more money, but that's whenever you're going to really know that you have figured out how to sell to your stream viewers. You need to understand that this is a skill set just like YouTube is, just like streaming is. The first little paid thing that you make is going to suck, and that's okay. If you haven't already, make sure that you check out You're a Badass at Making Money. If you have any like weird icky feelings about making money or selling to your community or anything like that, that book will completely change your mindset whenever it comes to monetization. The next thing is like, what do you do with all this money, right? You're not gonna be a millionaire, but we're raking in a little bit of dollar bills. What do we do with them? Well, what you wanna do is you wanna have two things. One is you need a bank account that is separate from your main personal bank account. This should be the bank account that all of your Twitch payouts go into, all of your YouTube AdSense payouts go to, all of this product sales go into. And so this is a way for you to keep track of all of those finances and pay yourself as the CEO of your streaming business. Then what you also need to do is reinvest that money back into making your product even better and back into improving your content. Upgrade your gear, hire an editor for YouTube, or hire a designer to make that infographic look a lot better. You finally have a way to start making a little bit of extra money in order to do the things that you need to do to level yourself up. And keep in mind, this is an experiment. You're gonna learn a lot from this. You're gonna have fun. There are gonna be some really weird times, but those weird times are you exploring outside of your comfort zone, and that's where all of the growth that you're looking for is gonna come from. Now, if you wanna learn more about how you can go from a $10 product to making $2,000 a month, you might wanna check out this YouTube video where I explain how you can do that. I'll see you over there. Bye. Oh, okay, bye.